Israeli Ambassador to the United States, Yechiel Leiter, joins me. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Greta. Good to be with you.
Nice to have you here. I just asked my colleague, Zach Anders, about what at this point is the goal, and I realize you're the diplomatic guy, not the military guy, but perhaps you know, is that the original plan was to get rid of the nuclear capability of Iran. I wonder if you know whether there's been assessment on that. And then secondly, what is the mission now? Is it because it seems to be going beyond the nuclear facilities, assuming that everyone's been successful with that?
Well, the strategic goal, Greta, remains the same, and that is eliminating the plans of Iran and the ability of the Mullah regime to threaten us with extinction. That was their stated goal, and that's what they're moving towards over the past few decades, to try to build the capacity, the military capacity, to threaten our very existence. And that includes basically three elements. Number one, the race towards a nuclear bomb. That has been obliterated. The second is the ballistic missile program, to rain thousands of missiles upon our cities, as we can see is happening since the beginning of the operation. And they have a plan to create 300 ballistic missiles a month, 3,500 a year, and rain them down all at once. So that ballistic missile program is also part of their intention to destroy the state of Israel. And number three is a support for proxies that created a ring around Israel, the Hamas, Houthis, and Hezbollah, with the intent of storming us all at once while ballistic missiles come down and eliminate the state, to put us in a situation where we couldn't defend ourselves. So the strategic goal remains the same: eliminating the threat from ballistic missiles, nuclear bomb, and proxies.
I realize that a lot can change, but a snapshot of the moment makes Iran look very pitiful. That response that they did to Qatar and on our U.S. base, thankfully, was not much. Thankfully, is that. And their response against Israel about a year ago, April, was pitiful also. So it's sort of hard for me to understand Iran being this big military threat when the opportunity they've had, other than their sort of diabolical funding of Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, is they look pretty weak.
I'll tell you, Greta, it's sorrowful that when we're talking about ballistic missiles being fired and raining down on somebody else is considered pitiful. Look, the prime minister said right after Hamas stormed our southern border and slaughtered 1,200 of our people, the day after that happened, the prime minister said, "This will change. This is not going to continue. We are not going to live like this." And look what he's accomplished over the past year and a half. We've decimated Hamas. We've completely diminished Hezbollah. We have severely ramped down the Houthis. We caused the change of government in Lebanon, in which we now have a government under General Aoun who is disarming the Hezbollah. There is a change of government in Syria. We no longer have an Assad regime that was a puppet of Iran. And now the threat of a nuclear Iran has been completely eliminated through the partnership and collaboration with the President of the United States. So we're in a completely different world right now, and we're moving towards a Middle East where we can go into a mode of Abraham Accords 2.0. That's the important thing. The vision of President Trump for peace in the Middle East is now realizable, and that's due to the vision of the leadership both in Israel and the United States.
Well, before this started, October 7th, it appeared to us here in the United States, or a number of us, is that Saudi Arabia was going to join the Abraham Accord. Then October 7th happened, and then suddenly that changed. Then with the bombing that started about 10 days ago, or whatever it was ago, is Saudi Arabia suddenly, who hates Iran, is suddenly condemning Israel for going after Iran with the nuclear weapons when they threaten the entire region, not just Israel. So that seems bizarre to me. But it seems to me that if you hit Iran so hard, they can't fund the others. So you do take care of Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. But when I hear the statement today, it says after that what I referred to pitiful attack, because we expected something worse. Thankfully, it was pitiful. It says Iran is ready to respond again if further action. And I thought to myself, that's just a save face. And I mean, if this word's so serious, they look so silly.
Well, they do. I mean, look, so many leaders in the past have been wont to take on tyranny And it only happened when it was too late, you know. And I think leadership, for example, in Europe, in the UN, should take a look at the two leaders of the United States and Israel who said, this is not going to pass. We're going to nip it in the bud. This is going to stop. Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb, and put an end to it. This is an example. I mean, imagine if we had leadership in 1938. You know, people warned and said, we don't want to go into war. And ultimately, we let Hitler run wild, and we went into war that took 65 million lives and 6 million Jews in the gas chambers because we didn't stop it. This is a war that we embarked on 10 days ago to end all wars.
Can I just stop you 1 second? Can I just tell you one second? I'm being told, and this is this year, that Trump is announcing a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, which of course is giant. I mean, it does say that, at least for the moment right now, that Israel has achieved its goals and Iran is basically conceding that. I mean, they're not going to say it that way, but this is big news, that Israel and Iran having a ceasefire. Your thoughts on this?
Well, maybe our conversation here, Greta, contributed to the ceasefire, and we can take some credit for it. But look, at the end of the day—
I'll take credit anytime I can get it.
Look, at the end of the day, when are we having a ceasefire? Having a ceasefire after the ballistic missile production, the enrichment facilities have been decimated, after people have expressed freedom in Iran that they haven't expressed for so many years. And, you know, we are being deluged with Iranians in the diaspora just expressing their thanks for what we have done. And now there's an opportunity. Once there's a ceasefire in place, there's an opportunity for Iranians to rise up and say, we've had enough. We've had enough of freedom deprivation. We want to be able to go into the town square, like Natan Sharansky said, is the test of freedom, and say what we want to say, and not be imprisoned and persecuted because we express our opinions. If we have facilitated the ability for 80 million, 90 million Iranians to be free, then we will have done something that history will judge us very judiciously and flatteringly for what we've accomplished. But the most important thing, if we've reached a ceasefire now, the most important thing is that we have removed the threat to our existence from over our heads. This black cloud that hung over us of a nuclear Iran threatening to annihilate us has been removed. And that's the bottom line.
And certainly, at least for the moment, and this is good, we'll celebrate that. I just don't trust them as far as I can throw them based on all the things they've done over the years. But anyway, I hope
we can trust President Trump to be vigilant about that.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, we'll see what I think. Prime Minister Netanyahu is right in there swinging too. Anyway, Ambassador Yechiel Leiter, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Greta. Good evening.
People think news just happens. It doesn't. It happens because there's someone there to capture the moment, to explain it and share it. That's my job. I go where news breaks and give you the facts. Join me for The Record on Newsmax.